excited to be here to do
My
this.
name is Laura Foster.
Guitar player extraordinaire slash resident fun guy at Northside Baptist.
Trio Quinn. I'm actually Charlie's cousin.
Neil Baker.
Eddie Baines Blanton. I'm a junior at Lowndes High School.
Peterson. I'm a student at Lowndes High School.
All right, welcome back to the podcast, and today I'm so glad to have you on. If you can introduce yourself, and we'll just keep on rolling.
All right. Well, I'm Stephen Kautzman. I recently graduated from Lowndes. That's
about it. As of right now.
Yeah, as of right now, that's about it.
All right. So, what is your testimony, man?
My testimony. So I'm gonna kind of go back to about 4th, 5th grade. I was my parents were in the military and all. When we moved a lot everywhere. All the way from south to north and everything, and we were in New Jersey. We originally first were here. Yeah. Came here in 4th grade, then we had to go back. There's a whole thing with that. We went back, and I was starting out there, and it kind of starts. I met this like 2 people, one named Jacob, one named Christian. Jacob was like my best friend. We had the same class together. Loved him. Christian, we had a different class together. Yeah. And Christian, I'm best friends with now. But we went on. We always like hang out in the playground, played all the fun games and stuff, and something that really it's just a big thing for our friendship. Something really stupid, but I dated Christian's best friend. I dated her for like a week or so or something like that, and then it just like went blank and ended, right? Yeah. And so it was he hated me for that for no reason at all. He just hated that happened. Yeah. So we went on a couple of years, and we made it to middle school, which at that time middle school was in 7th grade. Yeah. So we got there, and he just hated me, and he just did not like me, and he was. We ended up having a class together, and he sat there in his class because we talk about it sometimes. He'll be like, "Man, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him at all. Like, why is he in my class? This is weird." Yeah. And then we go to our next block, and he's like, "Okay, this is weird. I have him in the same class." So he prays, and he's like, "God, is this what's going on here?" Basically, right, and he was like, and so he ended up just talking to me, and we actually became close friends and resolved the thing that happened. And now we're actually just best friends now. He still lives in Jersey. Like, I talk to him about everything, but that's kind of how it started. My other friend Jacob, he went towards a bad side, and about in 7th grade I kind of went with him, and it wasn't like, I did like anything bad. I just like cussed and, just like tried to fit in other groups and all. So I was just bad overall. And my buddy Christian has always helped me. He was the person that definitely helped my walk a lot, pushing through. And he would always be there, and he still is always there. He actually he'll call me up and be like, "Yo, how you doing? How's this going on?" Yeah, that's good. And so then I moved to Georgia. Yeah. And when I moved to Georgia, it was very difficult. Even though I had a ton of family here and everything, it was just very difficult moving here. Yeah. I felt like when I got here, I just did not feel welcome. Yeah. Like, it was a struggle, like, to just make friends. And I didn't start making friends until about freshman year after COVID. It sucked even more because at 8th grade, I came in at 8th grade, and then COVID hit, and I was like, boom, in the face.
It's like, excuse me, now I'm here with all this going on, and I have no friends right now. Yeah. So I can imagine that, man. Yeah. Gotcha.
And went on, and I'm senior now, and I've actually made a ton of friends. And one thing I mainly have always prayed about was that I'd always find a Christian friend in Georgia, and it took so long to find that. Yeah. Until about, I think, last semester or this semester, whatever it was, and Avery kind of came up to me, and he was like, "Yo, you want to go to D now?" And I was like, "Huh?
D now? Yeah, what's that?"
What is that? I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "We just staying at my church and stuff." I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'll have to think about it." And so basically that went on from there, and we kind of me and Avery became friends. Yeah. Then it came along with, like, I found Micah there as well, and Matthew, and then we kind of created this group, and we kind of keep ourselves in check too. And once I realized that we were all together, I was like, that was my prayers being answered right there. There you go. I had all 3 of them were like my best friends there.
And notice you said for one Christian friend, right? Well,
Yeah,
God gave you more than that. He gave you an entire group.
He didn't just give me friends. He gave me brothers. That's how I see it. They're all like my brothers to me and everything. I love them all. One thing I think is funny is when I went to that D Now, I originally had to work through D Now because I didn't realize I didn't realize we had it going on, and had to work through it.
Yeah.
But now I was there one day and I was like, dang man, I really enjoying this. I wish I could stay. And I get a notification on my phone. It was my work app, and someone had picked up my shift, and I was like, oh crap,
yeah,
that's sick. So then
that means that God wanted you to be there.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad I was so happy to stay there and everything.
And just to I don't know about bragging on you, but because I got to stand next to you during the worship time for the second service, bro. You know that worship, brother.
Yeah.
You kidding me? Yeah, you put my jump into shade. Because for one of the songs, I think it was Glorious Day, we were jumping around like crazy. Yeah. All 150 of us up in the worship area up there. Mm-hmm. Bro, I was tired. I was like, okay, now I've done this for a second time. I can't do it again. But yeah, that was really, really cool. And to see you there too was really, really. It was. Because I don't go to Northside unless I'm with Micah or there's something else going on. Mm-hmm. I actually go to Charity Baptist down over by Snake Nation. That's where it is. Yeah. Snake Nation, and then I also I do that, and then sometimes I go to Northside and stuff. But yeah. Yeah, because I knew that I was curious about what church you went to, because I know you didn't come to this one, but you come to this if there's an event like Dino or something like that coming on. So yeah, man. So. What has been your experience with the Bridgeman been like? It's been interesting. Yeah? Really fun. 4 years, wrapped up into one question. Yeah, it's kind of difficult. I mean, just interesting. I honestly, I don't even know how, it's a difficult question to answer. I mean, I just, the band bus trips, I feel like that's when you get to know people. Right. That's when you get to know a person. On the rides back, on the ride there, everyone's kind of quiet. You pumped up. On the ride back, you're all kind of tired, so you get that 2 a.m. time feel, and then you start just kind of talking, and you either be messing around or you just get to know someone really well. And honestly, there've been a couple of times where I've evangelized to a couple people on those band buses. That's good. Me and Micah have tried. I knew you were about to say Micah. I was like, there's no way that Micah would not waste that opportunity. Yeah. Because, man. We've attempted to do it, and it was pretty successful the times we have. And all. That's good. Because one thing that, Northside harps on, I don't know about other churches, but, they tell us all the time that we're the ones that can reach that, they can. When they can, it's not as successful. They're, our generation will listen to us more than, they'll listen to an adult. And I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense, And I've tried myself, and I was like, me and Michael, we've given each other resources back and forth. He's got that, that box of Ray Comfort stuff. He's giving me some of that. I find some of that so cool, but also so funny at the same time. Yeah. Did he show you the the dollar? He just showed me the dollar. I've seen all of it. I gave that to a teacher. I gave that dollar to a teacher, and I had graduation announcements. I taped that dollar on the back of a graduation announcement. Well, because, and I don't mean this in a bad way at all, but she was and she probably still is a big Swiftie, and I was like, okay, because I know what the music's like that Taylor Swift and she produces, and I was like, she may be Christian, I have no idea, I don't know, but you know what, I'm gonna slap this on the back just as a reminder, and she kept that, and come to find out she actually is related to somebody that goes to church here, and I was like, well, you should start coming then. Oh, that's what I was thinking, but yeah, he's a great guy, and all of them are really, and I think I've interviewed you about all of them. Yeah. Yeah. But, so, what instrument did you play on the Bridgeman, and what got you interested in that instrument? Well, I kind of started out playing crash cymbals, which we'll say OG crash cymbals here. Yeah. We were the first ones my freshman year to play the crash cymbals, and they still haven't done it. Yeah. And then I kind of moved up to drum set, which I don't know if you would know, but the solo, the dance solo that everyone, most people remember my sophomore year was me out there in the middle of the field getting off the drum set, and it kind of went to that, and I kind of went to playing the tenors my junior and senior year, and I like doing that a lot. Yeah. But what got me interested, which it's a pretty funny story, when I was a lot younger, my parents, me and my little brother would have our own little band down in the basement, and we'd be saying it wasn't even songs, it was just most random songs. Gibberish that we'd be speaking. I'd grab a couple sticks and just lay out a little
like bowl and stuff and just start playing it. There's videos. My parents have videos of every single time we do it. They've shown it to so many people. I'm like,
I need to see that.
I was like, no, please don't show that.
I need to see that. Just saying. I mean,
it's not me being embarrassing. It's my little brother. He's the one singing his heart out right there.
hey, well, that's funny. That's
Yeah.
really funny. So like, when it just when the Bridgeman ended though, cause that's not a question I've got on the sheet. But how did that make you feel when you were like, man, it's done? Like, because you've done this for 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's closing.
It was just kind of like I don't know. It was just almost a shot in the face. It was just like, boom, it's over. And I mean, for me, it wasn't
like, go, and then, bam.
Yeah.
That's the last
and
thing.
It was like the Bridgeman's over, but then you had my next semester we had indoor percussion.
Yeah.
And so it kind of wasn't over yet, but it was still kind of like I put the hat down. It was kind of like oh dang, that sucks.
Yeah. I got you, but and I bet you and I was just saying like. You really, those friendships with Matthew and all that, you probably like built them even closer because of being in the Bridgeman.
Oh yeah,
it was.
100%.
I bet you those band trips really helped that. Like 2 conversations, talking about Jesus. I bet that was really fun.
It was.
So when it comes to, like, how have you seen God work in LHS? Like whether it be through FCA, the Bridgeman, because I know you go to, you're in both, and you go to FCA all the time, or you did. So
yeah.
How have you seen God work through those things?
I mean, I really see like. Again, like the friendship thing that I was talking about. I mean, praying for those friendships, and they came along. It took a while, but they came along in the long run. I just that was like one thing I just like realized how Lowndes just was. It's just how there's someone there for you at Lowndes, because I mean there's so many people at Lowndes. There's someone that you're gonna really hang out with.
If you can't find somebody in 3,000 kids, then you need to be praying to God right now to find a friend, because there's somebody there.
Yeah.
But when it comes to FCA, man, like, for me at least, it was cool to see people like our age come up and speak.
Oh yeah, I did.
And then, for me especially, getting to do one of these inside of FCA.
Yeah.
And they want me to come back and do another one.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah. Because one thing that Miss Fletcher was telling me was like, and I do understand this, people, they're getting tired of the formula, I guess. Because there's been kind of a formula, I guess you could say, like, you do word, or you do worship, word, and then eat. And then, and that's been the same formula the entire time until, we came into the podcast and shook things up a little bit. People like the new, they just like different stuff. And I'm like, I think it'd be cool if they just did like a, bring in like a band or something, do like a worship time. Shoot, I wouldn't mind that in the morning. Even though I'm graduated, I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, like I don't know about for you, but for FCA for sure was to see like our peers get up there and talk, and these are messages that are coming from them, not from not from something they saw like online, or they might have used inspiration, but it's coming from what God's telling them. And not to mention it's encouraging to see that many kids in there. In the morning. I mean, it's 7:30 in the morning and you're in there.
Even whenever I'd have my dual enrollment, because I was like dual enrollment 2 classes my last semester, I'd see the notifications on Instagram like, oh, they're teaching today. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I'd always see like who's teaching. I was like, I know that kid. They're teaching. That's pretty cool. And it was just a cool thing. Even though I wasn't there, it was a cool thing to see that like who was going up to teach.
So. Right. Yeah. And like. One of the things, if I did know somebody, I'd be like such a cheerleader. I'm like, yeah, let's go. It'd be so cool. So when it comes to, and we kind of talked about this a little bit, but when it comes to graduating and all that, what are you looking forward to the most? And also, what are you gonna miss? When it comes to.
What I'm looking forward to is just that little bit of freedom I get.
Yeah.
Not having to go to school from this time to this time.
Right.
Just getting. Just not worrying about school, because I'm not really going to. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm gonna go to Wiregrass. Like I'm going to Wiregrass, but I'm not sure where I'm going for.
Yeah. So are you gonna start in the fall, or are you gonna wait a little bit?
I'm gonna go in the spring.
Yeah, I was thinking honestly. I kind of know what I want to do, but honestly, the way it's looking, I might do the same thing.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not registered yet, but also that FAFSA stuff. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, FAFSA. I filled all that out.
It's making me oh my gosh, it's making me scream. Well, because my dad had no records. And so we're having to do all that. Yeah. And then my mom had records all the way from when she went to high school. Because, they keep all that stuff. Even though I'm like, why didn't you get rid of this? She's not going to go back to college. Like, get rid of it and let us make a new account and all that. And it was a pain. But, I'm kind of in the same boat as you are. Like, I kind of know what I want to do, but I don't know for sure. I'm like,
Yeah.
And plus, like, we just graduated, man.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
let
not-
us
it's
breathe
not like
for a
that,
little bit,
yeah.
you know?
And I think I know what I want to do. It's just I'm trying to figure out if I want to go to school for it or if I just want to go get like a business degree and like maybe
Right.
start a business later on down the road. It's
Yeah.
kind of like what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, hey, business, you can make a lot of money. People,
Oh,
and
yeah.
whatever that is, people need it. I'm sure,
Oh, yeah.
like, and, because my dad right now, he does carpentry work. Dude, and he's like one of the best ones. I mean, I'm biased, but like, he's been doing this for
Yeah, I
so
know what
long.
you're talking about.
Like, that a lot of people, they recommend his name, and but he didn't, like, he didn't go to like, he went to college for, I think, I don't know, maybe a year, and he dropped out 'cause he's like, I don't need that. He's like,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying to people that if you want to go to college, do it, because if you want to shoot for that, go and do it. I'm happy for you, and I will cheer you on. But you know what? It's not for everybody,
Yeah.
especially these days. Like, like Wiregrass and a trade school, and plus you can do what you want to do and get out and start doing what you want to do.
Yeah. One thing I do also know, like realize as well is like, there are things that you need to go to school for. Where like a doctor, lawyer, and like those stuff. Like you need to go to school for that. But then there are some things that people go to school for. But I'm like,
why?
Why are you putting yourself in debt? Like you can just go straight into the workforce and you'll be just fine.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I'm at. But since I have my a Hope scholarship, I was kind of like,
nice.
I have it. Why not just go to school for it? So that's kind of like my process. If I run out or if I don't get it, I'm just gonna okay, cool.
That's me too. I got like a $500 scholarship from somebody, and I was like, well, I don't want to use it on something stupid.
Yeah.
So, I better use it for school. It's just kind of what it's intended for, and so but I probably because at this point I'm like, do I really want to start in the fall? 'Cause I don't feel ready, honestly. Because I'm sitting there thinking on it. I'm like, I'm just not ready to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not ready to go ahead and start jumping back into.
Back into
school.
school.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just not. And plus, like for me, 'cause I live in Lake Park, Wiregrass is so far.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like,
It is.
no. And I was gonna do my core online, and I still may do that in the spring.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm like, I'm not. I don't see to rush it anymore. Like, and I know, and I get it. Dual enrollment was when you're in high school, it was great. But that was my thing was like, why rush it so much? And like for me, I didn't need to take all those classes like that because I knew what my goals were. I was like, I don't need to take all those big classes like that and go crazy. The highest I went was an honors class in history.
Yeah.
And I was like, man. And that was,
I decided when it was the honors in math my senior year. That's all I got.
dude, I wish I could have done that in math. There was no way. I could have done that in math. No.
I could do math so easily.
Really?
I still can. I just can't. Reading is just not my expertise sometimes.
Yeah, so history's more my, I'm a history nerd. And so, it just comes naturally. Like, I can remember dates and stuff like that, and Stephen Peterson, he's like, bro, how the heck do you remember that? I'm like, I don't know how I remember this stuff. Like, I'll be the one that'll be like in the friend group, I'll go, hey guys, you remember what happened 40 years ago? And they're like, no, you're the only one that remembers what happened 40 years ago. But I'll be that person, honestly. So now we're gonna go into some youth questions. When you look at the youth today, do you see hope, or are you worried about the future?
I think it depends honestly on what version of the youth you're talking about, because you got two sides. Like I think the youth of like Christianity youth, I think that is going. I trust that the way it's going and the way I've seen, especially on social media.
Yeah.
I think it's really great seeing people go out and like I've seen people evangelize, and even still Christians as young as us going forth and like committing to the faith. And then there's like some people in the youth that I've also seen that aren't Christians but kind of ride the fence in a way.
Ride the line, yeah.
Yes, and they kind of are like, I mean, I see hope. Like there's like some stuff. So I guess like the Christian side, yes.
Yeah, and I would say, for me, it's kind of when we were at Lowndes, I would always say 50-50 because it's kind of split right down the middle. You've got your God-fearing kids, and then you've got the ones that aren't so much, and you've really you have to really be careful because it's weird because you don't for me, I'm one that doesn't like to cause and get into controversy in any type of way. I'm just that kind of person, and so it's like I better watch what I say or something, or somebody's gonna get mad, in some way. And I had a lot of different friends that were all different types, whatever you want, and they were nice. They were nice people, but were they Christians? Absolutely not. And there was a few that I even. Because I did a podcast here at Northside on a Wednesday last year, and I actually surveyed some kids at Lowndes. They weren't Christian. I knew they weren't, and that was the point. Was to get their questions answered. If you're teetering, if you can get the question answered, then, if you got it answered, then when you come to faith. Did it work? I don't know. But, that was the intention. And so, I got those questions, and there was just one of them. I gave him the sheet. He just did not. He was not taking it seriously whatsoever. It's like, I tried, but, so, and what I had to take out of that is that, God, God allowed me to plant the seed, and He just didn't take it.
Yeah.
It's not, and that's what we have to realize is that they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting God, and that's like the classic saying, I know, but it's true. And and towards like the big, like the end of, me leaving high school, I tried to do more of that because I was like, well, that's gonna be the last time I get to step into this mission field before I go off. So I better make the most of it. Now I think, for us, I think it'd be like, what would be great is to encourage, people that are still there, like Micah, Avery, and we ain't got to worry about them too much because they're already doing it anyway.
Yeah.
But, that was another thing that gives me hope is because I got to see them almost every day. It's so encouraging to, like, watch them, especially Micah because he's so on fire all the time. Yeah. Like, passing out this and that and what, because I'd give him cards and stuff, and I'm like, bro, you don't even need these. You just need your mouth, and you'll just start talking.
And even still, like Avery's story is like that. I love hearing that. I haven't listened to his podcast. I don't know how much he has shared, but I know his story.
You probably know it on a deeper level than
maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't listened to it yet, but knowing his story, and then you got Micah who's like Jesus, like yeah, and then you got like Avery listen to his story. It's just that I think that's also motivating as well. It's just,
one common thing that people tell me all the time, they're like, when I ask them to approach them to be on the podcast, they're like, my story is not that interesting because I grew up in church. You know what? These days, people want to hear that you grew up in church because it's happening less and less. Yeah. And like, especially if you're young. Even if you're an adult, who cares? Like, because you have some wisdom to give, or whatever your story may be, because God's given that to you for a reason. Yeah. Right. And that's what you have to tell people. It's like, come on, you enjoy it. You'll have a fun time. Yeah. All you're doing is you're talking to me. I mean, how can that be boring? I'm joking. But,
one thing I did realize when I looked at the question, my testimony, I was like sitting there thinking, I was like, dang, I've never had anyone really ask me about my testimony. I was like,
really?
I had to really think about it. I was like, okay, this is what it is. I was like, okay, it's not that bad, because I always thought my testimony was kind of like, I grew up in church like that, like you were saying. I always thought that was like, I just had that kind of testimony, and then I like dug deep into it, and I was like, well, I kind of have like a little bit of a testimony with me.
And like, I'll tell you right now, like, mine's like, well, what you might call the dramatic one. Like, had all the health problems and this and that, and then came to faith years later, blah blah blah. But it doesn't have to be like that.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like a massive, like,
no. And while those are like mine are cool to say, and people will hear them and they get really encouraged by them, they get encouraged by yours as well. Yeah. Because like I said, people do not grow up in church as often as they used to at all.
And just, I think also you got to remember, like, well, what did they go through to get that story? Like, that story, like, that must be, like, difficult for some people who have, like, those difficult stories, like, thinking about that past that they had. Mm-hmm. It'd be great, like, they have that story. It's like, oh, my gosh, that's awesome, but I don't know if I'd want that past. It's kind of like that mindset that some people have.
Right. So, for my next question, what advice would you give to someone who's struggling to navigate this world in a biblical way?
I'm going to give that good old, how do I say it, but the prayer, and honestly find some really good Christian friends. Yeah. Prayer is one thing I found whenever, like, my mom would, like, I talk to her about something and be like, yeah, this is going on. She'll be like, have you prayed? And, like, it really annoys me when she asks, I'm just like, I'm just mad that I haven't thought of it, and then she'll just like, did you pray? And it just kind of, like, hits me. I'm just like,
and I'm like, no, but I will now. Yeah. Thanks, Mom. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then also just, I guess, finding that those Christian friends, or just friends. Honestly, you don't need like a massive group of Christians. You just need one person, honestly, to be accountable. Like Christian in my sense. Like, I just really needed him, and I get talking to him, tell him about my stuff that I have going on. But then it grew to like Micah, Matthew, and Avery, and all of them. It's really good to have that one Christian friend, because one, like it says, is one man, or iron sharpens iron as one sharpens another. Right. And it's just, I think that is really what you need, is just two people that are just growing in your faith together.
Right. And I think, I'm not saying like a big group is bad, but like the tighter you can keep it, because you can, you share more with each other and things like that. If you make it too big, somebody's going to spill something that shouldn't have been, told, right? And so keep it tight. I think that's kind of key, because there's kind of like communication in there, and like, hey, we're going to keep this like safe between us, and it's not gonna. It's like confidentiality. It's not going to leak anywhere or whatever. 'Cause people go through some rough stuff. Yeah. Just to hear, like like I said, I interviewed the Eunices here, a while back, and just to hear their story, I was like, man, it's like how. And you're still faithful to God, because there's a lot of stories that I've heard myself sitting here. I'm thinking, these are stories that you could have drifted away from God and said, no, I'm done because of what that's happened. But they actually went the other direction, which praise God they did, because they have an amazing testimony. But man, if you could describe LHS in one word, what would it be and why?
I'd have to say diversity in like friend groups, honestly. The different There's so many people you could go and join. I mean, you got ROTC band. You got there's some good Christian groups there, and there's also some other there's a lot of groups of people at school at lounge that you could go and find.
Yeah.
Even if you maybe if you're not a Christian, you want to go with someone else. There's something there. No matter what, there is something there.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier.
That's good. So, what are your life verses, and why are they important to you? Or what are your
my life verses? I'd have to say Joshua 1:9.
Good. That's a good one.
It's a good one. I've always kind of stuck with that one. It kind of started, I got the chain with it on. It had a cross, and I kind of wore that. And I was like, I kind of like that verse.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that.
Yeah. So why is that important to you? Is there a specific reason, or do you just like it? Or
I just really like it. Just really it keeps me kind of going sometimes. It's just that, he's there for you. He's your shield.
Yeah. And you need that, man. There's because every day, it's like every day a new challenge arises, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, so the questions I have, but is there anything that you want to say, add anything like that before we can get out of here?
I don't think I got anything else.
Okay. Well, thank you, man, for coming on. I know this was a long time that, we had to sit here and try to record it, because trust me, you got to work around people's schedules, and I thank you for, being patient with me and, and
thank you for being patient with me.
Of course.
It took a little while.
Yeah, man, dude. It happens. I mean, and life happens. What are you gonna do?
Oh, yeah.
But man, thanks for coming on. And you never know. We might have to get all of you guys on here and see how chaotic that'll be.
Oh yeah.
But I would enjoy it. But thanks for coming on.
Yep.
With another episode of the Young Minds Podcast coming to a close, I just want to remind you that you are never alone and faith is action. So let's get out there.